Thank you so much to all those that are linking up with us on the WhatsApp platform. It's always great to have you guys on board. Welcome to Marriage and Family Matters. And tonight we ask the question, can a marriage survive serial cheating? Despite the growth of new technologies, I think, as well as social norms, married couples today face the same concerns and struggles that couples have faced for centuries. But I think now your technology zvinenge zvatiwedzere kana zvinoita senge zvaamplify nekuti nhau dzakawanda dzakutobudikira dzimwe dzainge probably dzisingabude nenhau yekuti kwakusina technology. What we've learned, I think, is that marriage takes a great deal of work, sacrifice, personal growth, vulnerability, open communication, dedication, and unconditional love. Even I think with some of these attributes, at least partially at work in a marriage institution, divorce rates actually remain very high. One of the most devastating conflicts is the extramarital affair. When a spouse cheats once, I think it takes a huge toll on the aggrieved partner. And with proper intervention, aiwa zvinogadzirika. Asi dzimweni dzenguva tinotoona wanano ichiparara ipo paya. Asi nhasi tati tinzwisise nhau yekuti zvinenge zvakuita senge kahabit. Chive vari kuramba vachingodzokorodza. Vachingobatikidza kuti ndo zvavanga vari kuita. Kana kuti amai mwana ndo zviri kuitika. Not too sure kuti do men really forgive once when a woman cheats at all. Takanzwa kuti it's very difficult for a man to forgive. But here's the situation we're faced with tonight. Can a marriage survive serial cheating? So Grandmaster Coach Duri is here to help us unpack this one. Grandmaster Coach, good evening and thank you for joining us.
Yes, good evening, Glendah. A very good evening to our wonderful listeners.
So it's good to have you on the show. Maybe as a point of departure, tibatsire kunzwisisa kuzoti tibatsiro vamwe vasinganzwisise kuti zvavari kuita pamwe ndiyo cheating yacho. Titangire ipapo kana chiri munhu ari kuchita zvorevei.
Glendah, this is a very topical issue. Mu social media mungave mumapepa nhau zvakare nhau dzekuti zvazodai pazobatwa munhu adzidzi ndo dzakutoita mukurumbira. And it's something that we need to look at. However, today we are looking at serial cheating, and we want to separate serial cheating from what we would call like once-off cheating. So serial means it's something that we are doing over and over. So I'll try to share two sides of this. The first side is that in serial cheating, the person is willfully and deliberately doing it. So haisisiri nyaya kuti paita mistake, haisisiri nyaya kuti munhu ari kutozviita achitoziva kuti tiri kutodai so.
All right, Coach, timire pamati
willfully
mistake.
Yes.
Zvichireva kuti kana munhu aita cheat, it could be possible that it was just a mistake.
You see, what we look at mainly is that kana iri once off. There could have been Glendah, yes, some extenuating circumstances. And the truth munhu anotadza odzidza and then ochienda pane zvakanaka. But with serial cheating is different. We are saying that they are in it, and like I did say earlier on, willfully and deliberately doing it. But I also want to say that serial cheating in marriage refers to a repeated act of engaging in extramarital affairs or infidelities by one partner over a period of time. So we are saying this is what is happening. They repeatedly do that. And in the process, of course, they are violating trust and the boundaries that a marriage is supposed to have. So that's one that we want to look at, that just getting to understand. But Glendah, I also say that kuti uzopuwa title yekunzi uri serial cheater, I think it's a very bad and negative one, and something that it's not a very good title at all. It's a very negative social label. Does not augur well with anyone. No one deserves to be called that, in my view. And what it means is we should then take the necessary precautions that such a negative label is never attached to any one of us. Glendah, like I said, maybe would also want to see a cheating dzacho kuti dzakamira sei. Pane zvatiri kuti characteristics of serial cheating, and so yekutanga toda ngoti multiple affairs. So yes, they've got this one, they have another one, so they've got numerous affairs. So it could be both male and female in this one, or so either they're happening concurrently or it's succession, meaning that they move from this one, they move to the other. And of course, the second thing is recurrent behavior. And we are saying that despite being caught in the first time, they continue to do that. So we're talking about characteristics here. And then we are also saying that they lack remorse. These people, they lack remorse. Kudzidza kuti aiwa zvichaitwa, contrition, remorse, apana zvachose. They will be back on it. And of course, they've got their own ways to justify why they are there. And then, of course, secrecy and deception. Yes, that's another characteristic as well. So they want to be, they want to try and cover it up as much as they can. But of course, what we know is things will always get out of hand, and it will be discovered. Maybe types of cheating, Glendah, apa characteristics. Types, pani atinoti emotional cheating. Emotional is not physical, because I also want just to separate emotional, physical, and at times we have a combination of that, which we call the hybrid. So in certain cases, people are just communicating. You spend most of your time interacting with this particular person. Of course, there's no physical contact. So this person could be distances away, and with these personal gadgets nowadays, you spend hours and hours, either you are on video or you are just chatting. And then, of course, physical ones, eventually we get there, we meet, and of course, we get physical. And then, of course, like I said, a hybrid is a combination of the two.
All right, great. I think we have been put like on the map. We thought Tripap Takatasa Nawe serial cheating and how it manifests, the characteristics there. Share your thoughts on 0719100404. Are we moving on the same page? Have you witnessed this in some marriages? Not what to share. Avabviri nemadresi kana kuti amai ningi vabatwa zve nechikomba. Chii chinombonyatsokonzeresa kuti munhu abve afunga kuita cheat in this particular manner? Mataura imimi kuti dzimweni dzenguva cheating iri once off could have been a mistake. And is cheating ever a mistake? But this is what we've been told tonight. Could be a mistake. But chii chinokonzeresa kuti munhu azofunga kuita kumbomba panze kana kuti tizosvika pakuti aite a serial cheat akamboti zvona uyu ndiye mudzimai wandoda kuita spend the rest of my life with, kana ndiye murume wandoda kuti tizoparadzaniswa nerufu. Chii chinenge chichimbonyatsoitika ipo pai?
Glendah, I want to say that commitment, maybe to number one, total commitment, it's weak nowadays. What we see, we people are not really committing to them to the relationship, and of course not understanding. I think there's a different definition altogether of marriage. Open marriages and so on. So a bit loose, and people don't take things seriously. So Glendah, the first thing really is issues of commitment. And number two, I also want to talk about low self-esteem, for instance. Particularly this affects men a lot. At times when you have low self-esteem, we call it maybe compensatory behavior. what tends to happen is you want to prove a point. You want to say, yes, you might think I'm like this, but I'm able to do that. So really, it's a way of dealing with your own self-esteem. And here we are saying we are seeking validation, and we are also seeking self-worth through, of course, extramarital affairs. Munhu achifunga kuti no zviri kutoita kuti zvifambire zviri right. And then number 3, let's talk about it being addictive. Glendah, most people don't appreciate these sexual escapades, for example. They become addictive. And habit forming, we are saying when you do something over and over again, it becomes habit. When it becomes habit, it's second to nature. It's happening automatically to you. You don't need to think about it. And we are saying it's a compulsive behavior. And because it has been happening over and over again. Number 3, Glendah, number 4, sorry, we want to talk about unmet needs. I've always said that the most powerful sexual organ in us is the mind, Glendah.
It is.
And so the saka challenge yacho inoita ndekuti kana tichiti pane inonzi unmet expectation inotangira mumind. Munhu ari kuti no hazvina kundiitira zviri right. Saka already organ iyoyo kana yatodefeatwa, then you are going to find that munhu ari kufunga kuti no hazvisi kundikwanira, zvandinazvo hazvisi kundikwanira, saka rega ndibude panze. So as a result, I'm talking about unmet needs here, and of course they are highly perceptual. And Glendah, of course, number 5, I want to talk about communication issues. Yes, when people don't communicate openly, to share, their feelings, their experiences, at times it leaves a gap in the other, and that gap is then taken care of, outside the marriage institution. I also want to talk, Glendah, about sense of entitlement and lack of empathy on this, or on your partner. Vamwe vedu hatina kuda kurwadzisa, pane inoita kunzi revenge and so on. So really we have got an ulterior motive. You are doing it to spite your partner. You want to make them feel bad. And in some cases, Glendah, of course, some people ascribe all these things to spiritual issues. We don't know how far, but of course they want to find some excuses for indulging in such activities.
But I remember having a conversation with a certain friend. I should tell her angane cousin yake wangatori headmistress vanga vakarorwa zvakanaka asi vaitotaura kuti being with one man for her azvibude, so aibva atsvaka more partners to satisfy a certain desire. Inenge iri addiction yamamuchataura iya yokuti maybe some connected to spiritual connection or whatever, but isn't it possible that we have people that have issues that actually need help? Because when something becomes an addiction, shiona kuti mumba handisi kudya bota rakakwana handisi kukwanirwa nebota iri, akunotsvaga rimwe achiramba achitsvaga zvinozorwadzisa mumwe wako, zvotsoka zvozonditambudza. Da kumbotidzokere panhau yamataura ye-low self-esteem, seeking validation and self-worth through extramarital affairs. This for me, how then does it boost somebody's self-esteem then by having these extramarital affairs?
Like Glendah, I said, men are affected this the most.
All right, so you're saying gender affectwa zvizhinji kuti madzimai affectwa here coach?
Compensation through validation.
Yeah.
No, it's yes, it could be there, but it's not as pronounced as in men. So men, they at times anongachifila kuti handisi kutreatwa with respect, and pamwe ndiri kutotarisirwa pasi, that kind of thing. So what they do is when they go out there, they have these extramarital affairs. And what ordinarily the colleagues and friends, their social circles, they would, look at them as if they are able to do these things, vanika spirit kekuita konka sort of validation yavari kungopanana pama circles avo echirume. Yeah, so they continue to do that. And then I wanted to follow up on addiction, like you said. So addiction, yes, spiritually, we can't deny that. We might need spiritual aspects to come and share with us on that.
Yeah.
But I also want to say that childhood experiences can cause addiction. So it could, if someone could have been abused when they were young, or taken through, or maybe by one from a porno for a long time. So as a result, you are going to find that because that has got a psychological effect on them. So they might, have that compulsive behavior because they are trying to compensate, that particular abuse that they actually went through. So yes, habit forming from childhood, yes, very possible. Also habit forming particularly after teenage level, where maybe someone is indulging and they get used to it. They get used to. I know of cases where someone says, no, I can't. They are not married, but they have to find a partner to sleep with. Before they go to bed themselves, and they are saying this is what they have been doing. Of course, drugs as well. They also come in because they also give you this what is called the Dutch courage, and you tend also to be highly experimental. So this is another thing as well. Glendah, there's a lot that has taken place in terms of sexual either stereotypes, sexual transformation, so to say. There is a lot that has taken place, and people want to experiment, people want to find out how those things are, and of course drugs are likely to help them do that, and before they know it, they are hooked on both drugs and also on sex.
Talk to us, 0719 100 404. We are in conversation with Grandmaster Coach Duri. We're talking about a very, very important issue that has also contributed to the demise of some marriage. The question we ask tonight is, can a marriage survive serial cheating? Share your thoughts. Did you experience it? Did you see it in your own circles? We did speak about how it manifests, characteristics of serial cheating, the types of serial cheating that are out there, and the underlying causes. Do share your thoughts. We'd love to hear from you around this very conversation. Somebody comes through, says, truly, there is no mistake, guys. Varume muri kuti mbunyikidza. Ndo imwe message yawo yapanapa. Yanzi varume vari kumbunyikidza madzimai. Vamwe vakati mari futi inotocontributa pacheating ipapa, especially kuvarume. Hanzi akaita mari, next thing akuda another wife kunze, and other one and another one. Mamwe marriages asina mari dzakawanda dzine mvuri, hanzi atori kutomira kudarika ava vanenge vane mari. Tingazive kuti is the truth to it. Your thoughts on it? As well, I wanted to ask Coach Takachicha papa pakuti avatosvikirwawo nemiedzo here varume ava vanenge vane mari nemvuri, nekuti hanzi especially muno Marare vakadzi vacho hanzi ndo vari kutohanda. Maybe your thoughts as well as commenting about some of the messages that have come through here.
Glenda, I'll start ne last one here kuti mari. What we have known and what has been scientifically approved is that our behaviors, our values, they are amplified by resources. So we should have strong values. Strong values, Glenda, they create strong boundaries. Pane zvimwe zvinhu zvokuti chero kaita mari yakaita sei, hatingataure tinoziva people who have it in but because they've got strong values, they remain faithful to their partners. So really I would say it's a lame excuse, but what we are seeing here is munhu anenge atori nepfungwa dzacho but zvozo amplifyiwa nekuti maresources apo now. And then someone was saying that tiri kumbunyikidzwa, kuti titi mistake tati isisu, when it happens once, there is room to have behavior change. Behavior change can take place maybe afterwards, but we are saying as long as it's going to be twice, thrice, 4 times and so on, now it's becoming what we call serial cheating. And we have described it, and we are saying that the person is willfully, and of course there's got other ulterior motives, and for us to effect behavior change on such, might be very difficult, because in the first place, they don't have values. They don't, to them, it's actually okay. So their values permit them, into this particular space. But ordinarily, our values should allow us to refrain and create strong boundaries between ourselves and our spouses.
So we've heard of Vanoto these women into their matrimonial homes. That disrespect, yeah, for me, I don't know, your thoughts quickly around this.
Glendah, I agree with you. It's number one, I would say very unacceptable, highly unacceptable. Remember that my spouse has dignity, and I should actually show that by the respect that I give. And it's very unfortunate. I've heard about it, and of course, I'm thinking that, Glendah, these things used to happen. That I think this is the thought that I have now. It's not something that I would expect to happen, in the 21st century. We must show some dignity, show some respect, and show that affection. We can't be doing that. It's not good at all.
Pamwe anenge asingauyi hake pamwe sokuitwa kwatainzwa kare kuti waitoti mai chirarai pasi pane wandauya naye and achiita zvokuchinjanisa, asi dzimweni dzenguva tiri kutonzwa imomo mumapepa nawo kuti afunga kuti amai havasi kukasika kudzoka, pamwe vatipirwa vakabva vakasika kudzoka. And as a woman who's getting into another woman's home, uchinatsoziva kuti no munhu uyu une murume wake asiri kupinda mumba imomo, handizivi kuti pfungwa dzacho dzinenge dziri papi. But share your thoughts. Serial cheating, what's your take on it? I would love to hear your thoughts on it. Tell us about my underlying causes. How does it impact a marriage? Kuti mudzimai awanikwa nechikomba nhasi, mangwana awanikwa nechimwe chikomba, kana kuti shewe varoramba vachingoita ma-extramarital affairs, pamwe vari kutozviita pajekerere, havasisina basa nekuti wazvinzwa here kana kuti wazviziva. How does it impact one's marriage?
Glendah, it's maybe let's look at it from number one, that it really destroys the dignity of the spouse that is being cheated upon. Zvinobvisa achiremerera, zvino downgrade, zvino degrade, hazviite zvakanaka. But ndoda kutaura zvakare kuti it actually brings also a very bad name and reputation to the family. And when I say family, it also takes into account even the children, Glendah. So you can imagine kuruku community, vana vari kuenda kuchikoro, and everyone else is pointing fingers at them. And we are saying that's highly traumatic, Glendah. And at times children, to deal with this, ndopatinozoona vakuita mama drugs and so on, because zviri kutovarwadza, very serious. And number two, we want to talk about trust erosion. We have said that trust is the currency of any relationship, including marriage, particularly in marriage. Trust is the currency. That is what we transact in marriage. So unfortunately, with serial cheating, you have totally destroyed. There is trust erosion that actually takes place in there. Emotional damage, number three, Glendah. Yes, like we did say, both to the children and the cheated spouse. And of course, to me, it's beyond that. I think it's traumatic, emotional trauma. It will actually take place, and you find someone now doing all sorts of things in an attempt to deal with that traumatic event. For Glendah, increased conflicts. Yes, of course, we are going to see that many a time. If there's anything, if there's a simple disagreement, we're going to drag issues of serial cheating into this particular story, make reference to those issues, and of course it will not end well. It will continuously create perpetual conflicts in the family, and this is not healthy for anyone in that particular relationship. And of course, at times, intimacy interest also decreases in the other person, because if you think too much, this is what they are doing with these other people, you actually lose concentration, you lose interest.
But yeah, that's the thing, Coach. then somebody loses interest because nyaya dzandawa dzawanda zvandaona pamafoni then uri kunzi uri kundinyima ma-conjugal rights angu, but ndiri kuhwisisa kuti zvauri kuita uku zviri kundikanganisa kana pfungwa chaidzo kana mental health yangu is not in place. Would you blame a partner for refusing to give somebody's conjugal rights ovati because of that ndakuenda? And it's when there's that introduction of protection in that marriage institution. And then you're being asked to see why. Help us have an appreciation of these dynamics when somebody decides to stick it out. But tibatsire these dynamics that are coming into play when ininda kusungo play.
Glendah, Inina, I want to say that we are entitled to safety and security within the marriage institution. It doesn't mean that then we become very vulnerable to each other. And of course, where we believe that someone is not being responsible, is choosing not to be responsible, then it might not be the best thing to just continue like that. However, in Glendah, I think it's a problem. And if you're going to continue like this, we are exposing everyone else to the exposure, which is not good. And then number two as well, mental health, Glendah. Just thinking that they are with someone and what are they doing with that someone, and then they want to come back and they want to demand conjugal rights. To me, it's extremely unfair. I think we need to be very human in the first place before we talk about issues of rights. And I have said that where rights are, there is some responsibility. There are no rights without responsibilities. These two go hand in hand. So we need to be responsible in order for us to enjoy certain rights. So I would say, because you need to protect yourself. You also need to voice your concern so that they get to understand. But what I always encourage, Glendah, is open communication. No, this is not going to happen because look, these are the challenges that are there, and then maybe they also get to understand what is at stake.
My husband was a serial cheat and I became numb in that marriage and kutoshaya kana love for him at all. And I would see messages in his inbox. Sometimes I would question these women. Hanzi kusvika ndatozoona kuti ndakutoita benzi. Hanzi ndakazongogarira vana. Asi it was the worst few years of my life until I said, you know what, I don't deserve this, and I walked out. Would you blame somebody? Kusvika ndanumb to the pain that this somebody is, I don't know, Coach. Maybe help us with the message that has come through here.
Glendah, yes, and unfortunately, most of us don't understand the impact of emotional pain, the impact of emotional trauma. That's traumatic. That's traumatizing your partner, and it's not really very good, Glendah. Ukaona munhu akusiya akuti it's okay, and chatarisa my message and try to say kutarisa my message is because you care. It's because you are protective of your partner, but once that goes away, it shows that yes, you have gone through a pain a level that is so high. And unfortunately, because we don't see the emotional wounds, people continue. But when we talk of mental health, people don't understand. And these are the wounds that are being created because of serial cheating. And such wounds are not good. Someone says, you are likely to react in a very negative manner because you are trying to deal with a very difficult circumstance that the other person does not understand, particularly when they are, when it's a serial cheater. It means they actually go again and you know. I was just talking to someone recently, and I couldn't believe what they said. They said, Coach, I found out that they were dating 19 women at the same time. I said no. She said yes. This is what was happening.
And we've seen. I remember there's a photo. My photos are not even just a photo. This man, my messages. In fact, my Angarim gallery, him with different women. So this number, I got 19 for me. It's happening, Coach, and it's sad.
And you know, Glenda, I said no. It doesn't happen. And you know what she said? She said, Coach,
19.
What I later did was, because I was pained, I put them in a group because she had gotten the contacts. She put them in a group and she started. So said they're actually forming a group. So you can imagine. And we are saying it's not good at all. I think we should learn to commit ourselves to this particular.
But guys need a help, Coach. Muna addiction. Sanga munari addicted to drugs. Maybe because I'm thinking 19 people don't have my messages I share. My photo I share with 19 different women.
Imagine at the same
time. What was the addiction again, Coach?
Definitely. I don't know about it. But we are saying, Glenda, during time you also should appreciate, show contrition, and you know, cooperate so that assistance actually can come through.
All right, we're going to get into the inbox a little bit here and then proceed to hear if such a marriage can actually survive. Question as well, are women more forgiving and are men hurt more by unfaithful partner? Can a man forgive when their partner cheats or is a serial cheat? Can a marriage survive serial cheating? And the chokwadi vakadzi vacho havasikudzora tsvimbo wena havakuchita as if someone told them the date of the end of the world and they're not apologizing about it. We have seen it Closure DNA show yet Tinashe Mugabe. They would deny even in front of DNA evidence. Zvakamboda kundinetsa, but someone told me hanzi zvakaprofitwa nafungisa zvakapano in a song hanzi inonzi baba mfundisi, when she said madzimai auya hot aramba kudzoro. I'm not too sure if that's what she meant, but anyway, hanzi scary ndakutotya kuroorwa. In fact, the guy was saying, I'm scared of even getting into a marriage institution because madzimai acho hanzi ndo atwapa ma levels.
It might appear like that, Glenda, because what we used to know, of course, women were on the quieter side.
You're on the receiving end.
Yes, or on the receiving end in the past. But I think they have come to a point where they are just standing in for their situation. And of course, men are not comfortable. But I also want to answer your three questions. I think I heard your three questions. It's also good that you just share. Chekutanga and chekuti, are men forgiving or not? That's what you said, right?
Yeah. Can they forgive?
Can they
forgive? Cheat. In they don't forgive, but
yeah. So the challenge really, Glenda, is that the patriarch system is still entrenched in most of us, and as a result, it teaches us not to forgive. But I've seen a shift, a major shift, Glenda, and it's easy for you to get this. I follow these traditional courts a lot, and I see men going to the chief, saying that no, ndoda kuripwa mukadzi wangu angazosiwa uine kuda kutoripwa haasi kuti andichada mukadzi ari kuti
pamwe akutoona senge money making scheme ka because autoda kuti mudzimai wangu ilusi ndingotobhenefita ndichingobhenefita mombe nemombe achazobvumisira amudzinga pamwe pumba imomo hatitozivi zvichasara zvichiitika ipo pani because when I don't know, like you're saying kuti patriarchal society yambofaka zvibvuma kana kuti vari kutogara pasi voti iwewe maybe I'm overthinking, being dramatic, but could be.
Yes, Glenda, you to some extent you are right. Yes, the patriarchal society it gives challenges. Zvinonetsa kuti vaite forgive, and of course vanenge vachiita kusekwa ne-society, that kind of thing. And then the other question was who are prone to more cheating and so on. I would want to say the issue of gender really is out of question. I think we see most people without values at all. In Glenda, my challenge and my values. My personal values don't create my boundaries. My boundaries they are defined by my values.
So it don't matter the gender.
Yes, it doesn't matter the gender. And ukatoona Glenda chiri kutoitika ndechekuti vanhu hatisisira chinhu chinonzi value system and in terms of how we uphold a value hatisisina, because we are doing anything and everything. So this is where the challenge, and as a result you've got no boundaries, anything goes.
All right, somebody says no marriage can survive with just having sexual intercourse with each other for years and years. Open marriages is the key until you sleep with whoever, whenever. Motisho, you spoke about how this concept has found itself somewhere within our marriage institutions, and it has also become a joke, so to speak. Your thoughts quickly on this one.
Glenda, I think Tungo, it's a big challenge to define what marriage is all about. The definition will not change because of time. I think we are very clear. A commitment to a life partner where you want to see the growth and the development of the other. And even in biblical terms as well, marriage is sanctified, as a union of two people who are going to live, as one from that particular time. So for us to talk about open marriage, I think we are also quickly borrowing things that are don't belong to us, Glenda. And at times, self-awareness. At times, we don't believe in ourselves. We don't value ourselves. We have a very weak definition of who we are, and we are not even proud of ourselves. We are denying who we are, and we just want to pick up these new concepts that are coming up, experimental concepts, just like that. I think we need to be solid in terms of our identity as a people, and be grounded in the values that come with that.
Somebody says in the entire discussion, you're implying that only when one is caught, then that is cheating. There are plenty more out there cheating and they never get caught. Serial cheaters, chaiwanzi, are so cunning that the other partner will never know. How do you handle that one?
Yes, Glenda.
How do we discuss something that probably hasn't come to the open?
Yes. I just want to say, the moment we say cheating, Glenda, there should be evidence that is clear that, look, this is what happened. But when we think, because maybe they are coming late or they've changed their lifestyle, and the times it's in the mind, it's all the time. It could be in the mind because there are certain things that we believe, and I think that's a worst case scenario, because now you are stressed, you are anxious, and you don't have any way. You can't say it out because the other person will say, look, it's not good just to mistrust me. I think I've done everything. Where are you getting that from?
Phone anosiya password iripo unoenda through. Asi pamwe phone ne evidence ari kusiya kubasa. Akana kuti anze kuspewe kuya. Ndo kumwe kuri kuiswa iya. Anozongoti akubuda ndo painobuda. Saka can we kana ari cunning asingabatwe?
Saka it means a challenge.
Tinozvigadzirisa sei kana pakadaro. So kuti ari kunyatso treat the wife with due respect, achiuya on time, achisvika pamba
achiita responsibilities ake,
asi vasingabviri paanenge ari kubasa unenge usingazvoturipe. But how, somebody says, how do you handle that? I don't know.
It's difficult, Glendah, because as long as we
Ndisina kuzvidwa.
kana kuti itigarirwe pasi inogarirwa pasi
Evidence yacho iri
ipo
pasi.
pasina evidence.
Hey coach, hey Glendah, chembere hanzi nzenza yakabva kumahumbwe. A cheating partner otomuona umchidanana but oramba because of what the society pegged to be the standard yemunhu wekuroorana naye. So because we major on the minors, the other part takes advantage of the other part. But kana waona the mistake you did, better move out than to die in all circles of life. This is Ganya in Marlborough coming through. Your thoughts quickly before we engage around a potential for recovery.
Yes, Glendah, we when it's that abusive, I think there's need to protect our mental health. There is need also to just safeguard ourselves also from it could be other diseases, and also just protect the children if there are children in the marriage. It's important to agree and say this is what is going to happen. Serial cheating are very difficult, and we would urge that that communication, that discussion be effected, and someone makes that particular decision.
All right, potential for recovery. Can a marriage survive serial cheating? Is there anything at all that the serial cheat can do to actually rebuild trust in his or her marriage? So
Glendah, yes, the idea is to say where there is commitment and where there is a strong will to change, recovery is possible. But you see, the moment we say serial and we say they are willingly cheating, then we have a challenge here. If they don't show contrition, remorse, because this is what they have done, then we run into problems because we have little to do. So we talk about being committed. When you commit to something, a behavior change is possible. So yes, when we acknowledge, show remorse, show contrition, Glendah, yes, a plan can be put in place, and of course, recovery is possible. And secondly, Glendah, when we're talking about therapeutic intervention, we were talking about issues of addiction. They need they might need even clinical intervention just to help them, through addiction.
Madiro andinoita nawidzi
inyaya isati yakutaurika, Glendah, asi itoripo, and tiri kuti sisu matherapist anokwanisa kubatsira munhau idzodzo vatoripo. Saka iwewe ukazviziva tandati paipa kana waita contrition ndiwe wakuita decision, and you are ready to be assisted in that particular regard. So this is possible. It's open to that. Committing to change, Glendah. Yeah, I was talking about this. Now, if it's serial, let's commit. Let's commit over what and each other. Saka zvipire. And you see, when you commit, you are saying, I am ready to do whatsoever it takes. And of course, rebuilding trust. It allows it requires you to be transparent and accountable. For your actions. You need to. When we say accountable, you are saying you must be answerable, you must say yes, so that you don't point fingers at other people. Healing and forgiveness, Glendah, is also important. We need to come to a point where, we forgive each other. It's not easy to do that, but we need that particular space where we tend to forgive one another. Of course, the first is to forgive ourselves. And of course, we go through the process of healing. Healing requires that support, from your partner, where they are committing, where they are showing, that they have moved, from their past, to a current behavior that is commendable. Yes, healing can take. So we are saying potential for recovery is there, Glendah, but key things have to do with committing oneself. Being remorseful, being answerable, and being ready, to move out of this habit that is negative.
Takes a lot of work. Pass through up. Yeah, it's not just ordinary cheating that we're talking about here. So it takes double the work, I think.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but it's been good. We have run out of time, but hopefully tadzidza nekuwisisa how deep the issue of serial cheating can be and how it can damage a marriage to the extent of divorce. We were asking the question, can a marriage survive serial cheating? We spoke about characteristics, types, underlying causes, and the impact it has on the marriage and the potential for recovery thereof. So let's do this again next week, same time. Marriage and Family Matters done. So Grandmaster Coach Duri, maybe you can also share your social media handles so that those that want to link up with you can do that.
Yes, thank you so much. Yes, Dr. Grandmaster Coach Duri across all social media handles. Thank you.
Thank you so much and good night.